Hello, I am the Jagged Wizard, and today I'm going to be walking through a character creation in Icon. Just a little bit of a shout out, one of my good friends who ran Icon for me a few weeks ago made this character sheet because there are no character sheets in Icon yet. And so that's just a little bit of a caveat. It's not an official one. It was made with the 1.45 update, but nothing significant has changed, so it's still perfectly usable as a character sheet for the most recent update. I'm going to be starting with the narrative character creation. And so I'm going to start by choosing a kin, and I decided to go with Beast Folk for this character. And I'm going to be going with a tiger themed character because I really like tigers. And so it's a little tiger shaped humanoid, and the kin has no mechanical bearing on my character. It's just a purely aesthetic choice. Next, I'm going to be choosing a culture, and there are 6 cultures to choose from, and I really liked this one called Legio. You grow up in a trading caravan and you kind of just travel all around the world, and so I like this idea that this character has gotten to know a wide variety of people, and the culture has a little bit of an impact on your skills once we get to choosing skills. But before we do that, we're going to choose a bond. Your bond is what determines most of your abilities as a character in narrative play, and I was choosing between a few, but I really liked this idea of a pathfinder. And so this character wants to explore and find new things in the world, and wants to discover new people and get to know them and to learn lots of things. And so with the Pathfinder, that's where you get your second wind, your special ability, and powers. And those are kind of your staples as a character. Your second wind is one where you regain an effort whenever you enter a new scene. What that means is basically whenever you show up to a new situation and there's a bit of a shift in the story, you regain 1 effort. And your max effort in this class, in this bond, all of the technicalities, is 3, and your max strain is 5. And so those represent effort is more of your physical strain, and your strain is your mental exhaustion, how much you can take before your character has to start dealing with serious problems. Your special ability is that leading a team action, it only costs 1 effort. So that means your character is good at leading group efforts, and so you get to choose from a bunch of the powers, and the one I decided to go with, I think it works really well for the character concept I've built, is called Lay Burdens. And so basically once per session, whenever you enter a populated space, you eliminate 1 segment on all of your burdens, so that whenever I go into a new populated space, like a city or a town, I get this character is rejuvenated by that. And I really like that for this character and the kind of vibe I'm going with. For name, I think I'm going to go with Gray Eyes, because it's something that he probably grew up having as one of his identifiers, because it was unusual for tigers to have gray eyes. And as a Pathfinder, I get to choose one of 2 skills that I get 2 bonus dots in. And so I'm going to go, it's either Traverse or Sense, and I think Traverse makes sense with growing up in a caravan, that he would be good at getting across difficult obstacles and getting around. And now I get to choose 4 more skills. These skills, I choose 1 based on my culture or background, and the one I want to do for that one is Traverse. I want to max that skill out at first level and get 3 pips in that. The next one I choose 2 based on my character's personal qualities, and I think Study, as part of this learning character, wants to learn a lot. Good old Gray Eyes, though he's not old, I imagine him being pretty young. And then the other one I want to be Sense, where he kind of learned a little bit how to be aware of his surroundings and had to keep watch a lot while growing up. And then I choose one based on my character's occupation / backstory, And I really like Charm as Grey Eye's skill for that, where he has a little bit of a way with people, but it's definitely not his strongest suit. And so that's your narrative play. I get that 1 power, and then I choose some skills. And so that's the level 0 for narrative play. And now I'm going to move on to tactical play, which is far more intense. And so there are 4 classes that you can choose from, and I'm going to be going with the Vagabond. It's similar to Rogues, where it's high mobility and damage, and they do well against enemies that either can't see them or are unaware of them. And so you get your base statistics all from your class, and then you pick a job within that class. And so my Vitality, which is kind of like your Constitution, comes from that. My max HP is 4 times that, which is 28. I don't have any wounds right now, so I'm not going to put anything there. And then my damage die is a D10. And then fray damage is 2. And my basic attack is range 4. My speed and dash are the same, which is the only class that those are the same. My defense is 10, and my max HP, I don't have any reduced HP if I'm creating a character, so it's still at 28. And so one of the key mechanics of this class is called Finishing Blow. Whenever I use an ability with Finishing Blow as a tag, it does extra damage to characters that are already damaged. And now I have a whole bunch of traits that I'm gonna have to copy down. The first one is called Skirmisher, which is a really cool ability. It lets you move diagonally, which is the only class where you can actually move diagonally in the game. Next is Dodge, and you're immune to all missed attacks. That's an extra T. Let me get rid of that. To all missed attacks, any damage from successful saves, and all area effects, which is really good, because if someone doesn't hit you, you're safe. You have the Prowl action, which lets you spend 1 action to gain stealth, which is good. It makes it so you can't be targeted by creatures until you do something. And then Finesse, which is tying into your core mechanic, where you get bonus damage to bloodied foes. So those are the base Vagabond statistics, and now I have to pick a job. And the one I really like for this character is the Fool. The Fool description says that fools are dedicated defenders of the common people of Arden Eld, part folk hero and part hired killer. And so I kind of like that this character is kind of just this folk hero, and he grew up like saving the town he grew up in. And so I have a whole nother group of traits that I have to copy down. And so more abilities that my character has. The first one is Tumbling, and so this allows you to move through character spaces at no additional cost. Curse of Chaos is you have evasion against characters that are 3 spaces away, which is pretty good. You have Cheap Trick, where I like this one, where you can. The Fool is built around dropping bombs and having them blow up. And so when someone misses you, you can teleport 1 space and drop a bomb next to you. And then you can stack dice, where once per round, whenever you trigger a Finishing Blow or Slay effect, you gain a stacked die. And then what you can do with those stacked dice is you can spend them to automatically succeed on a gamble, which is how you get your bombs to go off. So using those finishing blows and slay effects allows you to ensure that your bombs are going to blow up. With that, the limit break is something you unlock at later levels, and so I'm not going to deal with that right now. But right now I get to pick 2 abilities, and the ones I'm going to go with are Carnevale, which is an ability that lets you summon 2 bombs within range 2, and you can dash 1 after every bomb drop. With that, if you do not attack by the end of your turn, you can gamble for free setting those bombs off. And the next ability I'm going to choose is called Party Favor. And so I'm kind of choosing this one because it's not an attack, so it'll allow me to gamble more often, and it also has a finishing blow ability, which will allow me to gain more stacked dice. And so this is a one action, and I choose one space within range 3, and that becomes a mine. When someone steps on it, I gamble, and if it's a 1 to a 3, all my allies gain fly 1, and enemies take damage within that burst. If it's a 4 or a 5, foes are blinded as well. And if it's a 6, me and allies all gain stealth. Not stealth, stealth. Those are the two abilities I chose for this. Eventually you'll be able to gain more abilities with those. You'll gain relics, you'll gain a limit break, but for a level 0 character, most of that is not present. So this is my character. He's a beast folk with a tiger aesthetic, and he has distinct gray eyes. He grew up in the caravans of the Legio culture and is a pathfinder, so he really wants just to learn everything and go everywhere, which is why he's out exploring these dangerous places. And when it comes to combat, he's a vagabond, and with the archetype of fool, where he has a lot of bombs that he's doing the best he can to drop around and explode as often as he can. That is my walkthrough of a character. If you have any questions, or if you have any other comments you'd like to leave about this character, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching the video, and have a great day.